Hey everybody, how you doing today? It's Mark from TentandTable.com. I want to introduce to you a new product that we're bringing to market. It is a gasoline tent stake driver. This gasoline tent stake driver is a must-have for any tent or event rental company. The old way of swinging a sledgehammer opens you up to injuries. It takes a lot of time. It wears your guys out. A 40 by 100 tent with a proper tool like a gas-powered Thor tent stake driver can save you an hour to an hour and a half per setup. This unit is available in two different engine options. Okay, we have a 4-cycle Honda engine. We have a 2-cycle gas oil mix engine. Both of them incredibly reliable. Both of them will have the exact same pounding strength. It all comes down to the preference of what people are used to using in their power equipment inventory already. The units come in a very sturdy wheeled case. They come with a small tool bag that's going to give you Allen wrenches, spark plug wrench, and everything else that might be needed for minor repairs when you're out in the field. Remember, this thing is running, it's vibrating, so you just want to take a look at it. You know, at the end of the day, make sure everything's tight and it's ready to go. You're going to see right here that we have 4 different units right here. The first 2 units are specifically designed for driving tent stakes or any pipe or T-bar that's under 2 inches in diameter. The next one here is designed for driving larger fencing posts, 4x4s, landscape spikes that might be holding down a tree, or anything that's a larger diameter. So when you're trying to choose what one you need, speak to a sales rep so they can put you into the correct unit. Since we are TentandTable.com, I truly believe our most common selling unit is going to be the one for tent stakes. And the nice thing about this is the steel head perfectly fits onto the tent stake. We've been using these in our inventory for a long time. Before I brought them to market, we've had one in our back rental department that's been tested for over a year. My guys in my rental fleet can't be much different than your guys. They're abusive on equipment. If my guys can't break it, I don't think your guys can break it. Very easy starting units. I have the 2-cycle unit gassed up and ready to go right now. For good operating procedures, okay, out in the field, number 1, your guys should be wearing steel-toed boots, should be wearing hearing protectors, should be wearing a hard hat, okay? I have my glasses on, so that's not important. And that's important whether you're using a power unit or a sledgehammer, because the carbon steel, you would never want a piece of that breaking off and flying through the air. Simple on-off switch. Let the unit warm up a minute. Now I hope you can hear me okay with the engine running, but I want you to notice when I drive this stake, I'm not going to be using downward pressure. I'm going to let the unit do the work. Now you can see that that was under 10 seconds. Using a standard sledgehammer, that was probably a minute or 2 job, 1 or 2 guys getting that stake driven down. We are also making sure that we're carrying any parts that are needed for the unit. We have backup engines in stock, any of the common wear areas and wear parts. Perhaps a throttle might get broken if it's dropped. But generally speaking, if you keep the unit inside the case, you really shouldn't have any issue with that. Now, Steve, can you do me a favor? Can you pull this stake? We'll take this over the blacktop in a moment and we'll show how well it works in asphalt or very hard surfaces. While Steve's doing that, I will take a moment to explain 2-cycle and 4-cycle engines. A 2-cycle engine is an engine that requires gas and oil to be mixed prior to putting it in the unit. Most hardware stores, home centers will carry something like this. This is an Opti 2 mix. Doesn't matter what the mixture is. One of these to 1 gallon of gas and you're going to have a perfect mix for your fuel. If you opt to a 4-cycle unit, it has a separate oil crankcase and you can put regular gas right out of the gas pump into it. It's all up to the preference of the type of engine that you use. If you're using a 4-cycle engine, you always need to make sure that you're checking the oil. If you allow the oil in your crankcase to run low, you're going to run into engine issues. Now let's take a walk over here and see how this thing does driving into asphalt. Now you can see, once again, driving that into asphalt, though it took a little longer than driving it into the regular ground, was under a minute to drive a stake. Sledgehammer, number one, you would be pre-drilling the hole, then you would be driving it with a sledgehammer. One stake might take 3 to 5 minutes. Now, Steve, why don't you bring that JackJaw over here? This is another great tool that should always be purchased in conjunction with any stake or post driver, because it will effortlessly pull a stake from any material. Best stake puller on the market, can be used with single head and double head stakes, and you can see right there that pulled that stake out. Most important, there's not a lot of distortion in the blacktop. So if you're out at a client's job site, traditionally you might have had to take a sledgehammer, side, 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 side. You're creating a much larger hole. This is nice because that can be pulled out, it can be plugged, and if it's an ongoing job that you do year after year, you have a perfect hole to start next year. So if you have any questions on the Thor tent stake or fence post drivers, give your sales rep a call and they'll be more than happy to answer any questions.